We're going to call the regular village board meeting order for July 26, 2022. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lana, roll call, please.
Mayor DeBold,
Here.
Trustees Brockman,
Here.
Carroll,
Here.
Chapman,
Here.
Kirkland,
Here.
Luciano,
Here.
and Selfridge.
Here.
Okay, everybody's here. We'll move on to item B. Any citizens wishing to address the village board? Sure, please. And if you don't mind, just please make sure you say your name so the clerk can get it in the record.
Sure, it's
Thank you.
Marge Bollinger again. I'm coming before the village board again requesting that you put a halt to this food truck ordinance until we can all really just sit down and come up with one general plan that's good for everyone. I have emails here of all the Shorewood residents that own food trucks that we could be invited to the meeting. I know you guys had us on an agenda once before, and I do believe no one showed up, but that was only because we all have our jobs. These food trucks are our business, okay? We do them in the evening when people are home and they come out to dinners or snacks or whatever, but that's when we run our business. You guys have the 9-to-5 jobs while we're out making a living. So if we can just think of a decent date that we all can get together and sit down and hash this out, it would be great. I know for a fact my August is booked solid, and it's booked solid because people back in February want the TCBY truck. So it's not like I can just stop what I'm doing and come to a meeting. People expect us there back in February. They book us for August and September. I did have words with my neighbor Mark, who I'm sure you guys all know, and he was under the assumption that food trucks lower property values. That is wrong. Again, another point being that this ordinance was even drawn up with no one knowing what food trucks are. Yeah, you guys might have all did your research, but how about talking to owners of food trucks and what they want and what they need from you guys besides being kicked off our driveways? For no apparent reason. You drive through River Oak South, there are cat trucks. There's illegal big pickup trucks parked in the center of the street. You go around, I know this was all supposed to be taken care of, but it's still there. They did go away for a little while, but they're back. I understand the village is also following one of our food truck owners around and making sure that they leave the subdivision. What's up with that? Again, that's something that also needs to be taken care of at a special session. What else? We do not live in an HOA. So how can our neighbors tell us what we can and cannot have on our property? That's just wrong. We pay the taxes. They don't pay our taxes. We should be allowed to have whatever we want on our property as long as it's not hurting anyone. And you know what? If you don't like the look of it, turn your face. It's that easy. The ice cream and frozen food truck session ends in a couple of months. Auntie Anne's food truck will be gone the end of October. And, you know, I think we should just let the police and the village worry about more important things than food trucks parked in a driveway. I hope you guys all agree with me, and we can come to some resolution real soon. I have the list that I would like to present so that we can be all invited.
You can leave it with the clerk, please. Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank
No
you.
problem. Anybody else that wishing to address the village board? Sure. Again, please state your name for the record.
Dakota Bollinger. I'm with the Auntie Anne's. So I've been doing a lot of things with the village of Shorewood recently up to all this happened. I just don't understand how if somebody owns like a work truck, I mean, how it's not allowed. I mean, someone might not like the look of it, but it's people's living. I mean, there's, like she said, there's tons of vehicles inside our neighborhood that has things. I mean, just because of the size. I mean, I just want to make something clear that none of them block sidewalks. There's no cords crossing. I mean, if they happened before, it doesn't happen anymore. There's no washing stuff in the street. I mean, there's no food kept inside the truck when they're parked at our house. It's all from our kitchen. So when we use it, it's just from a means of transportation from our event that we're going to our kitchen to our house. So then in the morning is from our house to our kitchen to our event. I mean, like she said, I mean, we don't live in an HOA, so if they wanted such rules, they should live in an HOA. And I know that they presented a list to you guys of all the residents that didn't want food trucks parked in their in the neighborhood. But I mean, I know 4 neighbors that did not even get asked their opinion about if the food trucks bother them or not. So basically, they just tag teamed all of us with the neighbors that don't want it and presented you guys a list, and you guys fell for it. No other towns have such stupid food truck ordinances or targeting food trucks. And then, like I said, it doesn't block driveways and no cords crossing. And I also discussed with the Will County Health Department, and I know someone said it was sanitation reasons, but there's no sanitation issues there. I cleared that with them 2 weeks ago. So that's all I got.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to address the village board? All right. Oh, yes, sir.
Hi. My name is,
I'll wait for you to get to the microphone real quick, please.
my name's Amanda Zamora. I'm on the Rollingwood Homeowners Association Board, and this is Jeff Meyer.
I'm on the board also. We just wanted to thank Mr. Klima, Mr. DeBolt, you were there. We spoke to you briefly. Noriel, phenomenal job. Phil, your guys did a great job out there helping us with the issue from the fire. Mr. Duday, sorry, didn't see you sitting there. You guys has helped through this mess with whatever
Tri-County Fire.
got put into from the Tri-County Fire. But we wanted to really step up and thank you guys for the help. So,
Yeah, so it's good to hear that it was contained. For those of you that may or may not know, Jeff was the one who called it in Wednesday night and brought it to everyone's attention, and the reaction was swift on Thursday morning.
yeah, swift
Right.
and immediate. You guys did a phenomenal job.
So, if you need anything from us, from residents or citizens' perspective to help you with whatever's going on with Tri-County and EPA, or, if you need for us to step in somehow and have your voices heard, let us know, because, we live there, so we're concerned, and we want to make sure that, we're going down the proper remediation path. So, thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you.
What subdivision are you from?
They're Rollingwood.
Oh, Rollingwood? Okay, thank you.
And we'll give a quick overview for everybody on the board here after we get through the consent. We'll kind of give everybody a little more of an update. So I know we've been sharing different updates online and getting them out there through social media, but we'll try to help further a few more things that have continued to evolve from today and some of the next steps we're working on. So, anybody else from citizens? All right, seeing none, we will move into this evening's consent agenda. Item number 1 will be approval of the regular meeting minutes from July 12th, 2022. Item 2 will be approval of the special committee of the whole meeting minutes, July 12th, 2022. Approval of accounts payable in the amount of $145,644.47. And item number 4 will be approval of the payment in the amount of $22,371.93 to Brandenburg Electronics, and this is regards to the Public Works facility. Is there any items or anything a trustee wishes to address or whatnot?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion Luciano, second Kirkland. Roll call, please.
Carol,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
Selfridge,
Yes.
and Brockman.
Yes. All right, consent is approved. Lana, were there any additional mailings that we've received?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. So regarding some comments here, I'll take this opportunity. As everybody's well aware, Troy County Stockdale suffered a recent fire just about a week ago. They had a significant loss, pretty much lost the entire building. The fire department responded. A couple days later, the village has been monitoring water system. We were looking for any type of leaks or anything of that nature. We have been monitoring the stormwater system as well, trying to monitor for any type of runoff. A couple of days into it, runoff was noted. Immediately, the village staff had contacted Will County Emergency Management. At Will County Emergency Management, and since then, I will cover the entire list of partners that are involved with this. It's pretty significant, and it's pretty impressive of the help that we've been able to attain. But with that, immediately we moved into a containment phase. Different outlets in the Rollingwood subdivision were sandbagged off, so no further contaminant moved into the DuPage watershed, so we were able to contain that. We also addressed some of the outflow sides of things up in the Rollingwood subdivision, so some of that was also sandbagged off. Again, we wanted to contain where the contaminant was. Since then, there's been an environmental company brought in. To date, we're somewhere in the area of about, there's frac tanks, as some of you folks may have seen down on Rollingwood. They have pumped out upwards of 900,000 gallons of contaminated water thus far.
Close, yes.
In the ballpark.
Yes, in the ballpark.
With that, along these mitigation efforts, at this point, the field tiles have been blocked. We have cleaned our system, and at this point, Rollingwood system has also been cleaned up. We believe we have everything contained to the Tri-County Stockdale site. Of course, we've had 3 inches of rain right into that weekend. So, of course, the village was monitoring with emergency management, EPA. We did not want to suffer any type of property damage loss. So in conjunction with EPA, Illinois EPA and US EPA, a controlled discharge was allowed. Even during that time, seeing wildlife back in there, meaning fish. We actually saw fish swimming around after that second big wave of rain came through, which helped allow us to control discharge of that aspect. In the meantime, like I said, we have about 900,000 gallons of contaminated water pumped out. We were also pumping water from the west side of Tri-County. The west side of Tri-County, at that point, we were finding we were pulling contamination from under the building, and we were pulling contaminant from the ponds in Rollingwood. As of today, they had dropped one. There was a second containment tank going out to Rollingwood to further draw down those ponds as well. So we will be working, we're hoping to get some further testing results on all the different contaminants that have come, and we will work forward. There should be some follow-up meetings. On Thursday, we already have one scheduled with all of the partners involved, as we can start working at next steps in regards to the mitigation aspect of things. In regards to testing, the US EPA was out there immediately doing air quality testing, and they have provided us a link, which we are sharing regularly on our social media pages and the village's website. We're getting that out there, so there's a link on there, and you can follow that from the US EPA regarding air quality testing. In regards to water testing, we're waiting for some of the different labs to come back. There's a couple of chemical compositions that take a little bit of time to break down, so the environmental companies are waiting for a little bit, and with the state, they actually had to send some of these water, because of some of the chemicals involved, they've also had to work with a private lab. So we're hoping to start getting these results back tomorrow, and we can start making our next steps moving forward. We are also initiating testing of our own water now that we know what to test for. Everybody still feels pretty confident. Our wells are about approximately 2 miles away from where the fire scene was. But now that we know, now that we have some SDSs and some of the product list in hand, we know what we need to be looking for. Soil testing immediately on the farm ground was requested by the Illinois Department of Agriculture. So that is another test that is just going. The environmental company has been in contact with the Department of Agriculture. They were just given the type of grid and what they want tested for. So there's a numerous testing underway. We're just waiting for some different results. In regards to, if everybody sees on our memos that we try to keep putting out, when we reference partners, we are referring to Will County EMA, Illinois EMA, Illinois EPA, US EPA, Illinois Department of Public Health, Will County Department of Public Health, Illinois Department of Agriculture, Will County Executive, Senator Capel. The governor's office is now involved. USDA is now involved. And I may be missing something, and there was a variety of our last conference call on Thursday. I'm going to admit there were task force that jumped on the call with initials I've never heard of. So we have numerous agencies partnered in to make certain this is being handled appropriately, swiftly, and correctly. So I just wanted to kind of give everybody a high-level touch on it. Operations are ongoing, as everybody's been made aware. We do have storage tanks sitting on Highland Drive right now in Rollingwood, and we have tanks sitting on Black Road, and there are tanks in
On Roan.
on Roan out in Saddlebrook. Again, once we know the remediation efforts and how to proceed, we will work on getting these roads opened back up. But again, we want to act appropriately, and we are working in conjunction with our EMA partners and EPA partners. So I don't want to, and again, Allison Anderson is here. She is the director for the Will County EMA. Is there anything that specifically that you may want to throw in there that I may not have touched on?
All of it.
Okay. So, but again, without a doubt, and then I'll stop. Without a doubt, I want to compliment and huge thanks to Noriel and all of the public works staff, Chief Arnold, all the police department. Mark has been very helpful, and also with the building department, a variety of different things. And Ann's been monitoring how we've been trying to approach everything. Huge thank you to everybody, because things were evolving literally by the hour as different information was coming in. So trying to call people back in at midnight, from traffic control to public works to how we're making certain everything is being handled. So thank you to all of our staff, all of our department heads, all of our staff. It's been a long weekend, but everybody has got the job taken care of. We're moving in the right direction, and we have, at this point, appears to about have pretty much contained this to the site. And at this point, the environmental company will continue to work on resolving that side of it. So again, just wanted to kind of recap for everybody, kind of a very generalized aspect. So, all right, so let's move on. Move into this evening's order of business. This will be business item number 1. Public training presentation by Christopher Burke Engineering regarding the Npdes permits. Director Noriega.
Thank you, Mayor. So what a coincidence that we had this. This was not planned, but what a coincidence. So this is our National Pollution Discharge Elimination System, a federal program, federal mandated program, and this is under the Clean Water Act. We do have a permit under there. Some of the components and requirements, and specifically targets education, public education as well. So I had requested Christopher Burke to present. They had indicated, and staff had indicated, that this was done many years ago. It is actually a required element every year annually, but we had not done anything for the last couple of years simply because of the pandemic. Well, without further ado, I am asking Mr. Travis Perry to begin.
Thanks for having me tonight. Yeah, so it is very timely. The whole point of this program is to keep pollutants from your stormwater. So as Noriel said, this is a National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System, the Ms4 Permit, and it's an annual public meeting that's required. So what is the Npds program? Basically, it's a federal program that's mandated. It's passed down from the US EPA to the Illinois EPA, and then they pass it down to local units of governments like yourself. Your permit is a MS4 permit. So what is an MS4? It's a municipal separate storm sewer system. So that's all of your conveyance system throughout the village that collects stormwater and conveys it to the receiving streams. So it has nothing to do with your sanitary system, has nothing to do with drinking water, it's for stormwater only. So point sources, so what would those be? So those are all of the pipes, channels, sometimes it's roadways, ditches, anything that can collect and convey stormwater. So we have a few different examples here. So this is an outlet pipe from an outlet from a pipe discharge. You've got a stream or a swale here, a culvert under a road. So basically it's anything that collects water and then directly conveys it to a different location. So a point discharge. So that's what this whole program is trying to control. And why is that important? Because every time rain hits the ground, rain hits the road, rain hits anything, it starts collecting chemicals, toxins, pollutants. So once that rainwater starts collecting those and it starts discharging those, then they all go to our receiving streams and then they become heavily polluted. So there's different examples shown here. Sediment discharge from a construction site, oil runoff, sludge, petroleum discharges. So anything that gets collected by the rain, dropped into a stream, dropped into a storm sewer, and then discharged is a pollutant, obviously. So the local receiving here, the biggest one that we have, obviously, is the DuPage River. So, in talking with Noriel about the fire, of course, that was the primary concern, is keeping anything from getting to the DuPage River, which you guys did a great job of. So, but every watershed is protected, and the goal of the overall system, or the overall program, is to keep anything from reaching those waters. So how do they do that? You guys have a stormwater management program plan, and it consists of these 6 different minimum control measures, they're called. So it's public education and outreach, public participation and involvement, illicit discharge detection and elimination, construction site runoff control, post-construction site runoff control, and then pollution prevention, good housekeeping. So I know I just said a lot of words real quick, but I'll go through kind of a couple examples that the village does for each of those to make it a little bit clearer. But with the last permit update, one of the new requirements was a public meeting. So that allows the general public from Shorewood to learn about the program and offers them a chance to get more information and provide input on the program. So that's what we're doing tonight, is fulfilling that obligation. Kind of the gist of the program of the 6 minimum control measures is that the village must regulate all discharges to the storm sewer system. So that's everything by everybody, which is a pretty big ask. So any construction, any commercial, restaurants, light industrial, your own activities, all those, anything that happens in the village, you guys are responsible for making sure that there's no pollution going into the receiving streams. So that's a big ask, but that's what the permit requires. So like I mentioned, we'll step through each of the minimum control measures. So public education and outreach, and basically that's just getting information about the program out to the community. You can hand out brochures, post things on the website. So these are just a couple of different examples of things that the village does. So obviously pet waste provides pollution, or contributes to pollution. How do rivers impact? So these are brochures that are available to the public for download or distribution. Again, the website is a nice piece of the program. It provides all kinds of information. The program requires that your notice of intent, that is your guidebook to the EPA about how you're going to meet the program, that's posted online. All of your annual reports, your annual reporting about how you're going to meet the goals, that's all required to be online, as you can see here over so the public can access that anytime they'd like. The second minimum control measure is the public participation and involvement. So that moves from just letting the people know about it to how are they involved? Out picking up trash, actually physically preventing pollution from happening. And so participation in the Lower DuPage River Watershed Coalition is one of the ways. And then, of course, public meetings, public can come. You guys are all members of the public as well, in addition to your official capacities. The third minimum control measure is illicit discharge detection and elimination. And essentially, the EPA defines an illicit discharge as anything that enters the storm sewer system that's not stormwater. So that's a lot of things. As simple as grass clippings, leaves, runoff from a fire, anything like that. So you guys have a storm sewer map that allows your staff to know where all of the points of entry, points of exit from the system are, and of course, where the receiving streams that you're trying to protect are located. And additionally, the Code of Ordinances allows you guys to enforce any action needed to prevent the discharges, eliminate the discharges, whatever is needed. So those are a couple pieces of that illicit discharge detection program. Construction site runoff control. So that is all the activities that keeps the development of properties from contributing to runoff pollution. So again, the Code of Ordinances allows you guys to review development permits, inspect, enforce all of those activities that go along with building new homes, building new subdivisions, building new properties. Very similarly, construction, post-construction is as that project moves through the phase and begins to close out, to making sure that it's still not contributing. So maybe once it's stabilized, you want to make sure that the inlets are cleaned out and all the other activities, the detention basins are being maintained and the other components are being taken care of appropriately. And kind of the last piece of the Stormwater Management Program Plan is the pollution prevention and good housekeeping. So those are the activities that you guys need to do as a municipality to make sure that your own activities aren't contributing to pollution. So there's many of those that could happen, right? So where you store your salt, so the new public works facility takes care of this one, nice big dome out there. You want to make sure that you're not storing your salt, right next to a storm inlet. It's a few years of the last permit requirement. They updated it. You can't store it outside any longer. It has to be covered. But it's not even just salt. It's, anything, mulch, aggregates, anything like that that can contribute to runoff pollution. So the same thing for any type of your own project, whether it's a water main replacement, road project. All those activities need to make sure that they're following the same soil erosion and sediment control rules that you require developers to do. Street sweeping is a big one that most municipalities do. They send it up and down the road. It collects all the debris, keeps it from going in the storm sewer, and reducing the pollutants in the stormwater. Training. So in addition to the public training that we're having tonight, there's also an annual requirement for village staff. They need to know, what happens. So not to change the oil in a vehicle out in the field, but if something were to spill, what those requirements are, what you need to do to keep from getting in the storm sewer, which they're keenly aware of now. Similarly, there's pesticide requirements. There needs to be training for pesticides so that they're not being applied inappropriately to keep those pollutants. And very similarly, fertilizers on the flip side, things like how much, how often, don't discharge the cut lawn out to the street because then it just becomes a pollutant, kick it back into the yard itself. And I guess as it turns out, that's it. So there's the quick version of the 20 year of the Npds program. So if you guys have any questions about it, I'll be happy to answer them, or Noriel may as well. So,
Are there any questions from the presentation? Nope. Being none, I say thank you.
I guess that means I did a good job. Thanks.
If you think of anything, we'll ask Noriel.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, we will move on to item number 2. Consideration for approval of the bid award and contract to National Power Rotting for the 2022 sanitary sewer I&I rehabilitation project, basin number 5, in the amount of $387,752.38, and authorize execution of the contract consistent with the bid documents. L'Oreal.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is part of our sanitary sewer I&I program, which is designed basically to help reduce stormwater infiltration into our sanitary sewers, which then in turn help reduce our financial obligation to the city of Joliet for treatment of such. So basin number 5 is our next targeted basin. It is bordered by Jefferson to the north, Del Webb to the west, Sile Road to the south, and Raven to the east. We had put together, Christopher Burke had put together the project, and we bid the project out on July 14th. We received 4 bids with National Power Rotting as the low bid. CBEL has provided their review of the bid documents, and I'll provide also a recommendation to award. So the staff is recommending the village board accept the bid proposal and the award, and award the contract to National Power Rotting for our 2022 Sewer I&I Rehabilitation Project Basin Number 5 in the amount of $387,752.38, and authorize execution of the contract consistent with the bid documents. Any questions?
Have we worked with this company before?
I have not. I don't think they've worked in Shorewood recently. I know they are a big firm that have worked in many other municipalities in the area.
The name didn't sound familiar, that's why I asked.
I'll make a motion for approval of the bid to award a contract to National Power Routing for 2022 sanitary sewer I&I rehabilitation project basin number 5 in the amount of $387,752.38, and authorize execution of the contract consistent with the bid documents.
Second.
Motion Luciano, second Carroll. Roll call, please.
Chapman.
Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Luciano.
Yes.
Selfridge.
Yes.
Brockman.
Yes.
And Carroll.
Yes.
All right, the contract's approved. Item number 3, be consideration for approval of an upgrade to our existing SCADA system in the amount of $19,981 by Metropolitan Industries. Back in Oriel.
Thank you, Mayor. So SCADA, which is our supervisory control and data acquisition system, basically assists our water operators with monitoring both our water distribution system and our sanitary collection system. We have 2 mirrored sites, one at the Public Works and then one at another location. So with the new Public Works facility being constructed and almost ready, we're going to be relocating one of our systems to the new building. In order to do so, unfortunately, our equipment is on the older side, so many of the components are needing upgrade. The components are obsolete. So we are requesting that we buy a new system for the new Public Works facility and then upgrade the system at our mirrored site. They work hand in hand. They are both exactly the same, so that if one loses power or one goes down due to failure of the components, the other one will seamlessly pick up and transition so that we are still able to monitor our system. So I'll be asking for 2 different actions from the village board. So we'll start with the first one, which will be to upgrade our existing system. So staff is recommending authorization to upgrade and set up our existing SCADA system at our secondary site at a cost of $19,981 by Metropolitan Industries. Any questions?
I move to approve an upgrade to our existing SCADA system in the amount of $19,981 by Metropolitan Industries.
Second.
Motion Kirkland, second Selfridge. Roll call, please.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Luciano.
Yes.
Selfridge.
Yes.
Brockman.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
And Chapman.
Yes.
All right, the upgrade's approved. Item number 4 would be the consideration for approval of an authorization to install the new SCADA system at the new Public Works facility. The amount is $32,424. Oriel.
Thank you again. So this again is now the new system over at the Public Works. Staff is recommending authorization to install a new SCADA system at our Public Works facility at a cost of $32,424 by Metropolitan Industries. Any questions?
I'll motion that authorization to install a new SCADA system at our Public Works facility at a cost of $32,424 by the Metropolitan Industries. Second.
Motion Selfridge, second Kirkland. Roll call, please.
Luciano.
Yes.
Selfridge.
Yes.
Brockman.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
And Kirkland.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, items approved. We'll move into our trustee comments portion. Trustee Brockman.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next planning and zoning will be August 3rd here at the Village Hall, 7 o'clock, and we will be holding a public hearing to discuss the Hamptons, which is here at the town center area. So 7 o'clock, August 3rd. Thank you.
Sounds good. Trustee Carroll.
Just one item. Just want to compliments to the staff and all the outside organizations for how they handled the cleanup process from the fire. So
Well done.
Thank you. Trustee Chapman.
Yeah, I'd like to compliment the same organizations. I think, from what I was hearing, it was excellent. The staff and everybody who was involved. So, compliments to that group. I guess our citizens joined in with them, so it's a good thing. But no other report.
Thank you. Trustee Kirkland.
Thank you. I too want to mirror the comments, like I'm sure everyone feels the same way. It's something we've never experienced, and it's good to know that everybody came together and we're moving in the right direction. So I have a few updates for parks. Party in the Park, July 28th is a band night. The Hat Guys will play at 6:30. The Artisan Market will continue on Thursdays from 5 to 9 p.m. throughout the summer, adding new vendors each week. Our family campout is coming up August 19th and 20th at Shorewood Park. Registration closes on August 15th. And lastly, Shorewood Flag Football League registration is ongoing, and the deadline to register is August 8th. Call the Parks and Rec Department at 815-741-7710 for more details. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Luciano.
Thank you. I, again, would like to echo what everyone said about everyone that was involved in the cleanup there. I think they did an excellent job, and I think they'll continue to do an excellent job. Other than that, the Citizens Advisory Committee will be meeting again in September, and we will have the Troy Library making a presentation. That's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Selfridge.
Thank you, Mayor. No report, just echoing everyone's comments. It's much appreciated, the staff and all the organizations that helped that cleanup. It seemed like it was very swift and very thorough, and obviously appreciated.
With that, I want to make sure that the different department heads please echo the thanks from everybody on the board, and especially in a public manner, that their efforts and hard work is acknowledged and appreciated. With that, I do ask for a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
That's for,
I apologize. In an executive session for land acquisition and sale or lease of real estate owned by the village collective. We're not going to get into that, though, I believe, correct? We are not. So it's simply only going to be in regards to the land acquisition, sale, or lease of real estate owned by the village.
Okay.
Take the motion now.
So moved.
Motion Kirkland,
Second.
second Selfridge. Roll call, please.
Selfridge,
Yes.
Brockman,
yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
and Luciano.
Yes.